Hi everyone, today's art challenge is to design a view through a window onto a fantasy landscape. Here's mine. Now I'm going to tell you in this video how to draw your window frame and how to make it appear like we're looking out of our window and into the distance of our fantasy landscape using perspective. So, to make our drawing, we're going to need a pencil. Make sure it's nice and sharp. We're going to need a rubber. And I'm going to be using colouring pencils, but you can use your paints if you'd like as well. So, the first thing we're going to do is draw our window frame. This is the window that we're going to be looking out into our landscape. Now, to do this, I'm going to start off by drawing a nice big square almost to the edge of the paper. Now you can use a ruler if you'd like. I don't like using rulers too much. Inside my big square I'm going to draw 4 smaller squares. I'm going to make sure there's a gap between the edges, because that gap is what our window frame is. So there's 2 squares, this is my 3rd square, and there's my 4th square. Okay, or rectangle. Now that is our window frame. That's what we're looking through to see our landscape in the distance. Now your landscape can be whatever you like. You could have some flying unicorns in there. You could have some rainbows, you can have a football match being played, anything you like. Okay, I've decided to go with a kind of prehistoric theme. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a volcano exploding. So I'm going to draw my volcano. I'm going to start here, that'll be the top of my volcano, and it's going to come down like this. Now as you draw, it's okay to go over these lines for the moment. I'll talk about that in a minute. Now, out of my volcano, I'm going to have some lava and rocks coming out. I'm going to do some lines here to show it's like a jagged volcano. And I'm going to do a lava river flowing down as well. Now, this is a good chance for me to talk about perspective. Perspective, when we're drawing, allows us to show something being closer and something being further away. And as things are further away, when we look at them, they get smaller. So when I'm drawing my lava flow coming out of here and down to the front, I'm going to start off with the lava river being thin, and as it gets to us, as it gets closer to us, it'll look bigger. Okay, so you can see it's thinner at the top and bigger down the bottom. Okay, so that's my lava flow. Over here, I'm going to do some more mountains. On these mountains, I'm going to do some trees. Now remember, the trees are far away in the distance, so they're going to look quite small. I'm going to do my trees just like this. They're like pine trees, which are a bit like Christmas trees, because they are kind of a prehistoric tree, I think. There we go, that's my pine tree forest. Up in the corner, let's have a nice big sun. And to make it look a bit more prehistoric, I'm going to do some kind of clouds. It makes it look a bit mystical if they kind of cover the sun. There we go. Maybe it's the ash cloud coming off the volcano. Now, I've filled 3 of my boxes, so I need something here. Well, if we're doing prehistoric, we've got to have a dinosaur, haven't we? So let's try and do a T-Rex kind of character. So this will be his head with some sharp teeth like this. I'll do some, they have little hands out the front, and then like a big leg with a claw on the end there. And his other leg there with a claw on the end, and then his tail that comes up like that. Okay, and like an eye like that. Not the best dinosaur I've ever done, but it'll do for now. And why don't we have some grass coming out across here? And maybe I'll try and draw a caveman over here. So a caveman, let's do 2 little eyes for him. He'll probably have big bushy hair. He'll probably have his nose, big bushy beard. Some little ears for him, big bushy beard. Let's do, oh, he's probably got big muscles. And he's going to be holding a spear. Maybe he's out hunting. And he's probably wearing some kind of fur. Maybe he's pointing over at the dinosaur. Oh no. It looks more like an alien than a dinosaur. That doesn't matter. Okay. So that's kind of my window picture, my view out of my window. Oh, now another thing I can add for the front is a windowsill. Okay, that's kind of the ledge in front of the window. There we go. Now, you see I've got a line going in there and a line going in, you can't see, a line going in over there as well. That again shows perspective and it's moving away from us. Now, if I put something on this windowsill, it'll look quite big because it would be the closest thing to us. So maybe I could have a glass of water. If I had a glass of water, it would probably be about this size, my glass of water. Okay. I won't worry about all the lines behind it because glass and water are see-through. Okay. So look, my glass of water is much bigger than the trees in the distance over there. That's because they're all the way over there on the mountain and the glass of water is close to me. Okay. Now, next thing we need to do is take our rubber. And all these lines that go over the window frame, I'm going to need to rub out because that's going to give us the idea that the window frame is in front of us. Or sorry, is in front of the landscape. Okay. So look, now if I go over there, it gives the impression that the window frame is in front of us and the landscape is behind the window frame. Okay? Need to rub out our caveman's fingers coming over the window frame like that. There we go. So what's the next thing to do? Add some colour maybe. Now I'm going to start using some colouring pencils for mine. But you can use paints if you'd like to. For my volcano, let's have some like orange to show the lava coming out. And I'd colour all this in orange as well. Now you have to be really careful that you don't colour over your window frame because colouring pencils much harder to rub out. You can't really rub them out. Okay. So make sure you don't draw over your window frame. Okay. And you keep going like this. Now I'm not going to show you my colouring because it's going to take me a while for me to colour, but I'll show you my piece when it's finished. All I'm going to do now for the rest of the time is colour in, and then I'll go over all of my lines again in pencil just to make them really stand out and make them a bit thicker. Okay, I'll do that when I finish colouring. Okay, or you could go over it in a pen as well. Or another thing I like to do with this one is add another detail of something. We've got all this space down here. You could do down here like a flower pot, or imagine something that would be in the room. Or I like to do even something simple like, if I do like that, an electricity plug on the wall with the switches. There we go. That just gives us the idea that we're inside the room and we're looking out. I could do a flower pot here or something. And we could have a plant growing up. Okay. But the important thing to remember is that the things that are close to us are going to look much bigger than the things that are far away. Our plant in the room is much bigger than the trees all the way over there in the distance. So I'm going to get on with colouring my picture, and I'll show you what it is like at the end. So there's my finished picture. Remember, you can put anything you want on the other side of your window. I'd love to see any drawings or paintings that you make, so please take pictures, send them to your teachers, and have fun.